Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of a very special episode of Windows. Tonight I'm Ahmed Nader. I'm filling in for my colleague Dina Hussein as we celebrate in Egypt Christmas for the Egyptian Copts and for all the Egyptians, as we did see earlier in the day. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi sending out a message of unity and peace and congratulations to Pope Tawadros II on the occasion of Christmas, which we celebrate on the 7th of January. And to be celebrating Christmas and the Egyptian unity and peace all over Egypt as well, I am honored to be having with me on Windows tonight Dr. Ahmed Osama Abu Doma, the former Global Board Trustee at the United Religions Initiative and the Regional Leader Board at the Middle East and North Africa. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on Windows, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. The honor and pleasure is mine.
The pleasure is all mine. Dr. Ahmed, first of all, celebrating Christmas here in Egypt, how do you see it so much different under the tenure of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the past 6 or 7 years and before that in comparison?
First of all, I would like to send my greetings to our all of brothers and sisters in Egypt and worldwide who are celebrating the Merry Christmas today here in Egypt with the Coptic Egyptians, Coptic Muslims and Coptic Christians. We are one, and also to disseminate our greetings to all of the world to celebrate earlier by few days, and to hope and pray for God for protecting everyone from Corona pandemic, and at the same time God prevail peace on earth.
How did you see the message of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to Pope Tawadros II on a very special day for all the Egyptians, as you mentioned, not just the Egyptian Copts?
First of all, we have to admit that the president, our president, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, is the first Egyptian president who attended annually the celebrations in the church. And this is one of his credit with people. Second thing is, since 1971 till the role of the president Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, it's totally different for all of the Christian faiths, Orthodox, Catholic, Protestant, all what we have here in Egypt, to find the rule of law to allow them to maintain the churches and to have the credibility and the accreditation for thousands of buildings and churches. And it wasn't happened since 30 years ago. They were suffering with these points. So also it is a second real message by a tangible achievements of the president before the message. The message is already done by establishing the biggest church in the Middle East, in Egypt, the new one during
the nativity of Jesus Christ at the new administrative capital. How do you see such a step to be building, as you mentioned, the biggest cathedral alongside the biggest mosque at the future of Egypt, the future capital of Egypt, the administrative capital?
The future of Egypt and the administrative capital is a new point in development. It's a turning point for development. At the same time, the message is that the united of the Egyptians, the innovation and creativity, and give more opportunities and more better environment and luxurious capital to invest and to have the ministries there. So this is a new step for Egypt. Also, With the Christians' celebrations, it's Egyptian celebrations for all of us, all over Egypt, all over the history of Egypt, the land of civilization, the land of peace. We celebrate all of the events together without any kind of discriminations.
And most of the Egyptians, they own a Christmas tree and the decorations, and it's like an annual event for the Egyptian family, not just for the Christians. Speaking of the house of the Egyptian family, how do you see the importance of this institution in bringing the Egyptians together in the past few years?
They already did some efforts, but I would like that it could be more developed, and we need to be more effective in our society.
Yes.
Why? Because we have a war against terrorism. And terrorism here is not just the army confrontations.
It's the people against them.
The ideas of people and the wrong beliefs of these kind of terrorists, so they can destroy countries, as we can see around us in many neighbors countries and in the Arab world. And we have to work on the ground with a strategic plan. We already, as Egyptians, we are not extremists. As Egyptians, we are already living together in peace without any troubles. And but now, the new technology, as it is an added value for our life, the same time, our lives, the same time, it's an opportunity for the others to send their extremely dangerous ideas, and youth everywhere.
A new generation of wars.
With the new generations. So we have to work on the ground, as I mentioned. The credibility of the president by his decisions for the Christians, and now we have quota for them in the parliament too and in the Senate. But maybe I hope that in Egypt we are not having any kind of discriminations. But he did that because they were excluded for a long time during the 30 years ago. But before that, with the liberal Egypt, the past century, we haven't this at all. You can find in the past the leaders of Egypt like Fakhri Bek Abdel Noor, Makram Abeid, Mustafa Nahas, all of them working together.
And we have this now.
And we have this now.
Yes.
And working for Egypt without any kind of discriminations of Muslims and Christians like happened in 1919 revolutions. And I remember this when during the opening of the president of the biggest mosque and church, I said in one of the interviews that it is like the inspiration of Egypt again, together united the spirit of Egypt for being the Egyptians as usual in peace and back to our Egyptian identity.
Speaking of new generations of wars over the social media from different entities from all over the world, how did you see the Egyptians, especially the young Egyptians, response to those rumors and to the calls of sedition between the Muslims and the Christians, as we did see in 2011, and more specifically under the terrorist Brotherhood organization in 2012? How do you see the response of the Egyptians in 2013 to 2011 and 2012 and up till now in 2021? In that time, it's a decade. So we have differences. Yes.
That time of the 2011, it was like Egyptian, in the beginning, it wasn't for a revolution. It was just for some demands for Egypt after the fraud of the Egyptian parliament. So during the revolution of the 2011, 25th of January, the Brotherhood coped the revolution, and the mood, the environment was like we had like a corrupted government before, so people trying to move like, let us try with the religious people are working for God. And they used the religion as their icon to attract the people.
Which turned out to be untrue.
Hearts. Yes, it is not, it's untrue, because when we are talking, if you are a politician, you have to work for everyone, to serve everyone in your countries. Muslims, Christians, non-believers even, without any kind of discriminations. The justice for all. But this group were working for themselves.
Yes.
Second is they couldn't...
Under the mask of religion.
Under the mask of religion.
Yes.
And they didn't do anything except dividing the Egyptians into groups, and it was like a mess in that time.
For their benefit.
For their benefit.
Yes.
And they thought that they have already, the publicity covered them, that it is real. So in 1 year, with a miss of communication with the government, with the military, with the police, with the judges, they found a lot of conflicts. If you want, we can see yesterday, President Trump in the United States did a big mistake. It reminds me, but by what happened in the High Constitutional Court in Egypt.
Yes.
From the Brotherhood followers in that time. So this kind of chaos, it's not for the stability of Egypt. And now we're still having the generations of their ideas of Daesh, Qaeda, Taliban still exists and still working in the ground. The Salafists in the last elections, they didn't try. And in our constitution, it's not allowed to have a political, religious party or a political party based on a religion. It's not in our constitution. So, after a decade, we have a lot of developments happened.
Yes.
We have already challenges inside Egypt fighting terrorism, economic situation very hard regarding the IMF and the World Bank with the government, and the government and the military did their best to try to support the citizens, the Egyptians, because they know that these regulations is very hard for them. Second is, on the foreign affairs level, we had already a lot of troubles. We overcome it by...
Since 2012.
Since 2012.
Yes.
Because the 30th of June, the 30 millions of Egyptian people called, and in both sides, everybody must understand that the Egyptian military was for the side of people,
Yes.
for the Egyptians. The 25th of January, the military intervention was for the sake of Egyptian safety, people. And in the 30th of June, the same...
2013.
2013,
Yes.
the military, by the call of 30 million Egyptians in the demonstrations, the military was for the safety of the Egyptian people. A lot of challenges abroad and having troubles in Ethiopia and the Renaissance dam and the to rebuild again our repositioning for Egypt to lead
And to be holding the presidency of the African Union
Holding
in the past years.
Yes, after they excluded Egypt before, during
Suspension,
this, yes, suspension. Second, with the United States and with Europe and with the Gulf area and the Arab states. And now, every day, we have a new instance, the credibility of the Egyptian president and the policy in foreign affairs is highly appreciated and is doing very well. And now you are invited to be a part with the Gulf cooperation and reconciliation between Qatar and Saudi Arabia and the Gulf area by the presence of Egypt. Now we have Sudan, we have good relations. With the United States, we have good relations. And now with the EU and with France and Italy and our role in Libya to secure our national security for Egypt. It's a lot of challenges. We have to admit that there are things.
A lot of successes for President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi.
Yes, a lot of success for the president.
Yes.
Yes.
We will be speaking as well about the role of the Egyptian military in 2012, in 2013, in 2021, as tonight we've heard that the armed forces will be cleansing the areas for the coronavirus pandemic as well in the train stations, the main squares, as did happen before in the past years. But after this short break, we'll be taking a quick break and we'll be returning once again to you on Windows. So stay tuned.